All right, let's get into it. We scroll past posts like this all the time, right? But have you ever actually stopped to take one apart, piece by piece, to see what makes it tick? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to dissect a single social media ad to really understand the anatomy of modern digital persuasion. And it kicks off with a bang, right here, a new revolution in the world of AI. Look, that's not just a friendly hello. That is a hook. A big, bold, in-your-face claim that's designed to do one thing: stop your thumb from scrolling. It wants you to think, whoa, what's this? I'm about to stumble onto something huge. Okay, so they've promised a revolution. But what does that even look like inside an ad? That's the mission for today. We're going to break this thing down step by step and see the exact playbook it's using, how it turns someone just reading a post into a customer, and then, get this, into another promoter for the product. So first up, let's talk about that big opening promise. By calling it a revolution, they're setting the stage. They're basically telling you this isn't just another app, it's a fundamental shift. And they're doing this before you even know what the product is. It's a really smart psychological move, kind of priming you to expect something of massive value. But, you can't just make a huge promise like that and leave it hanging. You've got to ground it in something people actually understand. And that's exactly what the ad does next. It goes right after the biggest names in the business. We're talking Google and ChatGPT. And it puts the question right out there. Is this new thing actually better? And I love how it answers that question. It's a classic direct comparison. So on one side, you've got what they're calling the old way. These are the tools you already know. But notice how they point out their flaws. Google is less smart. ChatGPT is less fast. And then boom, on the other side, you have the revolution, Perplexity AI, which is presented as a perfect solution. It's both smarter and faster. It's textbook marketing, really. You define the problem with your competition, and then you swoop in as the superior evolution. All right, so at this point, if you're the reader, you're thinking, okay, you've made some big claims. You're saying you're better than Google. Prove it. And the ad anticipates that perfectly. This is where it shifts gears from making claims to providing the proof. It starts to explain how this thing actually works. And here's the proof they offer up. Each one of these bullet points is what you'd call a reason to believe. They're all designed to back up those earlier claims. You see the best combo of ChatGPT and Google? That directly reinforces that it's taken the best of both worlds. References and sources? That's there to prove it's smarter. And of course, making it free just tears down the biggest barrier to entry for anyone wanting to try it. Every single point here is a deliberate piece of evidence. Okay, now watch this, because here's where the ad makes a really important pivot. We've been talking logic, right? Features, proof, but now it moves into something more personal, more emotional. The strategy shifts to the real incentive, and it frames the whole thing not just as you downloading an app, but as you getting in on a great deal. And they're not subtle about it either. The ad literally calls it a win-win deal. That's such deliberate language. It's all about building trust, It taps into that feeling of, hey, this isn't just some company trying to sell me something. This is a situation where we both come out ahead. It feels like a partnership. So what are the mechanics of this win-win? Well, it's super simple. If you're the new user, you click the link and you get a sweet reward, a whole month of the pro version for free. And the person who referred you, they get a little something too, a $2 reward. It's just a clean, totally transparent transaction. But hang on a second. This brings up a really interesting little puzzle. The main prize for the new person is, well, it's free. It costs nothing. So how do you make something that's free feel like a huge win? Well, the answer is this number right here, $200. See, the ad makes a point of saying that joining directly would normally set you back $200. This is a classic psychological trick called price anchoring. By throwing out that big number first, our brains latch onto it as a baseline. So suddenly, your free month isn't just free anymore. It now feels like you're getting a $200 value for absolutely nothing. It just completely changes how you perceive the worth of the deal. So let's just recap. We've had the big hook, we've had the comparison to the big guys, we've had the proof, and we've got the incentive. There's only one thing left to do, right? Close the deal. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the call to action. And they leave zero room for confusion. They spell out the exact steps they want you to take. Click the link, install the app, join the service. Easy. But that last step, that's the genius of it. Share your link forward. That right there is the engine that makes this whole thing go. See, the goal isn't just to get you as a new user.
The real goal is to turn you into the next advertiser. It creates this amazing self-perpetuating loop, a marketing machine with a viral engine built right in.
And all of this really leaves us with a much bigger question, doesn't it? I mean, this ad is an absolute masterclass in incentivized sharing. But it does make you think, when we live in a world where pretty much every recommendation can have a price tag attached, a little referral bonus here, a kickback there, how does that change how we trust each other? How do we value the things our friends and colleagues share with us?